The Lakers have a golden opportunity as following a shocking report dropping surrounding a Mavericks big man, rumors and reports are starting to escalate and circulate surrounding the Los Angeles Lakers looking to acquire this player. We're going to break that down and discuss what this means going forward as Rob Pelinka prepares for something big. But a quick reminder before we get into it, if you're a part of the 80% who aren't subscribed to the channel, we're on the road to 5,000 subscribers. This is the place to be for daily Lakers content. So thank you guys for your continued support. And as we're on the road to this, your guys' support has been amazing. Ladies and gentlemen, we know that the Lakers have been perusing and have been prowling for a center for a while now, and a new rumor has entered the scene. Should Lakers pursue Maverick center on the trading block? Daniel Gafford enters the trade talks. On Friday, The Athletic revealed that Mavericks put center Daniel Gafford in trade talks, reportedly asking for a perimeter defender in return. Dallas has dealt with a gauntlet of injuries as they aim for their own playoff push, most notably to Luka Doncic and Derek Lively. Despite the latter's absence, Lively has all but cemented himself as the Mavericks starter. So, Derek Lively, first round pick obviously, has cemented himself for the Mavericks as their starting center, which means that now as you look at this report, and it kind of came in surprising fashion here. So the Mavericks are open to dealing Daniel Gafford in exchange for a perimeter defender. Now, there's a few different things to go over with this trade, proposal, all these different trade things. We're going to dive into them all. But on the surface, this is a very interesting opportunity for the Lakers because we'll dive into some mock trades here in a minute. But Daniel Gafford is a very good paint defender. He's a very good scorer. When you're looking at, comparing some of the targets they've been going after, whether that be Walker Kessler, whether that be, in this case, Daniel Gafford. Daniel Gafford is he's an interesting one. Coming off of a game where he had 27, 12, 2, and 2. Like, out of everybody that the Lakers have been linked to, whether that be Jonas Valanciunas, Nick Richards, of course, we're talking about Walker Kessler a lot. Daniel Gafford, maybe aside from Walker Kessler, but when it comes to an offensive bag, Daniel Gafford's, number one out of those guys. And when it comes to what the Lakers could actually use. Valanciunas probably has a deeper offensive bag. Talking about defensively, Walker Kessler is probably a little bit better, but Daniel Gafford is that guy who's also very solid. And he can give you 27 and 12. He would immediately cement himself as a very important piece of this team. But not only that, he would fit into the starting lineup alongside AD like a glove. You can see this, the case for Gafford. Considering his success for a rival contender, he's 6'10", 234 pounds. We know JJ Redick has longed for a physical defender who can bruise, who can play alongside AD. Gafford has had some excellent performances this season, imposing his will in the paint. He's good at, receiving alley-oops. AD is as well, of course, but LeBron can throw them. We can think about Austin Reaves throwing them, all these different things. Defensively, the 26-year-old has rejected 58 blocks. He has 58 blocks this season, has 8 games with 3 or more blocks. Pairing his skills with Davis's dominance could make for a nightmare defensive duo. He's one of the best shot blockers in the game. You have right to your right AD, one of the best shot blockers in the game. Right to your left, you have, some other great defenders on the Lakers. Austin Reaves obviously is a very good perimeter defender, but he is a very reliable big man. And whether they put him in the starting lineup or they put him as a backup, it doesn't really matter. The fit would be fantastic. Absolutely fantastic. Could the Lakers pull off a trade? You think about some of the contracts. The Lakers have the contracts to match the $13.4 million Gabe Vincent, Max Christie, Jared Vanderbilt. Doing so may be their best option going forward. Now, you think, and there's a big kind of, red flag in this trade, which we'll get into in a minute here. But when you think about what the Mavericks want back, they want a perimeter defender in return. They want a perimeter defender. Cam Reddish. May I offer you Cam Reddish if I am the Los Angeles Lakers? He is a very good perimeter defender. He is a 3-and-D wing. He was at one time a top, promising prospect for the Hawks. He is a very good defender, right? A very solid defender. That being said, is he good enough to be the headline of this trade? Absolutely not. Now, when you think about what the Lakers would offer in exchange, if you give them a perimeter defender in Cam Reddish, you're not going to give up a first for Daniel Gafford. Maybe you throw some seconds in there. They obviously used a lot of them in the DFS trade. But you look here, 11 points, is averaging almost 2 blocks a game. He is a very good player. Simple as that. He doesn't stretch the floor, but he's a very good player. He is exactly the type of bruiser that JJ Redick has been clamoring for to play alongside AD. And I think it does make a lot of sense. I really do. Now, when you're looking at some of the Lakers fans' thoughts on it, all these different things, the Lakers could have drafted this guy back in 2023. They obviously had Jalen Hood-Schifino instead, who the Lakers also drafted over Jaime Jaquez, which is a little bit interesting. But I don't hate it. And when you think about what it would actually take, though, you're trading with a rival in the Dallas Mavericks. And if you're the Mavericks, there is no world that you trade with the Lakers for Daniel Gafford unless no one else is offering anything. And if you do trade with the LA Lakers, it would have to be for I assume the Lakers or the Mavericks are going to say, hey, sure, you can trade only if it's first round picks, one or two of them. And there's no world you're trading one or two first round picks for Daniel Gafford, but that's obviously the tax that you're going to have to pay if you're trading with a rival in the West. I would assume he's going to get traded to an Eastern Conference rival, something like that. But man, oh man, does it make a lot of sense for the Lakers. I just don't think the Mavericks, because it is a rival, is going to happen. He's a big body. He's really good at catching lobs. But you look at the GM over there, it would be very difficult. It would be very, very difficult because, again, the Mavericks are in the West. They're obviously in a very interesting spot. Maybe the Mavericks are looking to trade for a guy like Nikola Vucevic. Maybe they do some sort of deal that way if you're Dallas. And they also want a wing defender, unless they want, Jared Vanderbilt, which I don't think they would, because that wouldn't be an immediate upgrade in the sense of, we don't really know how he's going to be playing this year. Dorian Finney-Smith would have been their perfect acquisition. The Lakers sniped them from him, so obviously that's not going to happen. So, if you're thinking about that's not going to happen, what else are you going to, give up at this point? And that's the biggest thing. Ultimately, because they're a rival, it's going to be very, very difficult. Gafford is very important to their team. We know all that. But, at the end of the day, ladies and gentlemen, we got the best wing defender available in Dorian Finney-Smith, maybe besides Cam Johnson when it comes to the best player out of the wing defenders available. So let me know down below. Do you think it's possible? Do you think they do some sort of move? Do you think they try to pull off a sneaky contract? It would be very interesting to see. We know there's been some ideas floating around surrounding the LA Lakers. We know, JJ Redick has really been liking what they've seen for Austin Reaves. We saw him break out yesterday. We've seen reports for Walker Kessler surrounding Christian Wood, some first round picks. If you can get Daniel Gafford for a little bit less than that, obviously he's younger, not quite as effective as Walker Kessler, then the conversation starts to get extremely interesting, especially for a guy who's really developed a good role, a good niche in the NBA, albeit only playing 20 minutes a game. That 20 minutes would fit perfectly alongside AD. Maybe they start to get him into the starting lineup against bigger teams, would help him go up against teams like the Sixers, teams like the Nuggets, teams like that have a lot of big bodies, specifically the Nuggets. They're very hard to stop. We've saw that in a couple games ago. Or a few, we've seen that not a couple games ago. We've seen that throughout the year. And of course, we saw the Heat struggle with the Nuggets a few days ago. You need big bodies, and Daniel Gafford is one of those. So let me know what your thoughts are. One quick update before we wrap up. His assumption is AD and Dorian Finney-Smith will return tomorrow night against the LA Clippers. A big game. Hopefully AD is available. Hopefully Dorian Finney-Smith is available, because they're going to need everybody as they continue to hopefully pile on these wins here. And as they pile on these wins, the trade deadline is February 6th. It is a couple of weeks away. Things are really going to start to escalate for the LA Lakers. There is no doubt about it. And this is the place to be for all the latest news. So let me know down below. Do you think would you want Daniel Gafford on your team? But for two, do you think this would make a lot of sense for the LA Lakers? I think it does. Do I think it's going to happen? No, just because of the way that, they're both in the West. It would be a West rival. And if they go up each other in the playoffs, and then you have, again, both teams are competing. So if you go up against each other in the playoffs and you are playing against Daniel Gafford, a guy you traded at the deadline, it'd be bad optics. Let me know down below what your thoughts are on that. Thank you guys again for your continued support. It's been unbelievable. Cheers.